Okay, I'm going to show what I did to change the size of the tealight box that Nancy's been working on. This is what I've tried so far, Nancy. I went to File, and I said Merge because I'm going to bring it right into this one. And since I'm working in Silhouette Studio, I decided to get the Silhouette Studio file here. So that's the one I opened. I said okay. Here it is. The first thing I did was get rid of the text at the bottom by clicking on it and hitting delete. I'm going to move this off of here for now. And then the next thing I did was you wanted to cut this in half so that you could change the size of it. So I zoomed in a little bit with this little bug tool like this. And I came down here and got the knife tool. And I just cut this apart with the knife tool. Okay, then I come up here to the select tool and move this piece over. This is the piece onto which I'm going to have to add the extra side piece. So what I did was I duplicated this one by holding down the Alt key and dragging one over. And then I came back to the knife tool and I just cut off this tab over here, because that's all I need. And I'm going to delete this part. First I got to get my selection tool and delete it. I'm going to bring this tab over here and put it on this. But I think before I can weld it, I think I have to get these score lines off of here. So let me ungroup this. Let me move this back over. I'll right click and ungroup, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this piece up. I'll click off and then click back on. See how I'm leaving behind the score lines? And I'm going to come up here and weld this piece onto here. This piece isn't real crucial. It is just for the tab to glue together. So I have this one selected, hold down my shift, grab the other, and I'm going to right click and say weld. Okay, notice a few things stayed here, but I can just click on that and delete it. Click on this piece and I think delete it, hopefully. Yep, there we go. Okay, so this is back to the way it should be, so I'm going to move it back down. And notice it's in the front now because I welded, so I'm going to right click on it and say send to back. All right, now I know how to put these score lines based on, you know, the folds and the little cuts I can see on my object. So the next thing that I did was I clicked on the score line, and it's kind of hard to get them. Get the arrow up here, kind of click on, see I got that one, hold down my shift key, try to get another one, can't. There we go, I got two of them. And I'm going to try to get the third one. Okay, I've got all three. I'm going to come up here and change the size of those lines, just like that. And then I think I went to group. Okay, so let me scroll back out. And this guy should be done, I think. And then I'm going to do this guy. So all I need to do on him is to change his score lines. So try to click on them. Oh, first I have to ungroup it. And then I'm going to click on the score lines. Got one. Seems like if you hit it right in the center of the dash, you can get them. 2, 3. And again, I'm just going to come up here and change this to a bigger dash line. Uh-oh, look what happened. I got all of this, so that's not right. I don't want dash lines around everything. I must have grabbed the outside too. So start again. Just going to get this score line, hold down my shift key. Nope, see, that got the outside edge. I don't want the outside edge. This score line, hold down my shift key. This score line, hold down my shift key and this score line. Okay, I think I just have the score lines this time. Let's check it out. Change it to the bigger dashes. Yep, perfect. And then I'm just going to go all over it and group. So that piece is done. The last thing I have to do is, let me scroll out again so I can see. So I need to take this guy right here, and all I'm going to do with him is cut him in half with the knife tool again. So I can scroll in if I want to, or I can just do my best since this is just a sample. Cut that apart. Come up here, get the selection tool, and delete this part. And eventually what I'll do is make this doubled. But for right now, what I have to do here is ungroup it. And I'm going to do the same thing with those score lines. Grab the score lines, hit the shift key, try to grab these, got them, change the size of them, and then I'm going to group. All right. So now I think I'm ready. Well, not quite. Now you want to make it resized, right? So I'm going to put everything on top of each other so I can resize everything at one time. And I'm going to drag it. And I can just use the grid mark here if I want to see how big I'm making everything, because this is a 12 by 12 mat. Or what I can do is I can make this 11. Well, let me fix that. The lock wasn't locked. Let's lock this lock. All right. Well, anyway. All right, here we go. So it's 11 by 5. That piece is 11 by 5. So I think it's pretty good. This piece right here is 11 by 5, so these all should be 11 something. If I want to, what I can do is, well, I'll just leave it like that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive, and you're going to see how many of these I've been saving, trying this different ways. Save it as SVG, tealight box test 8. Okay. So now I'm going to bring this into Cricut Design Space. And let's cancel this one. That one worked out perfectly. Let's hide all of this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the next one, and you'll see how many I've been doing. Upload an image, browse, and I'm doing box number 8. Okay, as you can see, I've brought in the image, and it is smaller, much smaller than what we want. It's only 3.983 inches wide. But we're going to work at it with this at this size first, and then we'll make it larger. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup it, and I'm going to okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the gray box, hold down my shift key, and click on the 2 score lines that go with it. So notice over here I have 3 things selected, and I'm going to move those over. Now these 2 cut lines that I have selected over here, this one and this one, I'm going to come up here and change them from cut lines to score lines. Perfect, just like that. And then I'm going to attach them. That part's done. Now I'm going to click the next part, and there's that, and I'm going to click on a score line here and here and here and here. So notice what's happened over here in the layers panel. So I'm going to drag this stuff over, and I'm going to just notice you can tell that this line down here is the actual shape. I'm going to just grab these score lines now, and look, when I click on them, they're red because that's what color they were over there in Silhouette Studio. I'm going to grab all of those red ones, those score lines. I'm going to change them to score lines, and I'm going to I'm going to attach them. So that's part's done. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one. I'm actually just going to grab the cut lines, that one, and that one. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of those score lines. I'm going to come up here and change them from cut lines to score. And then I'm going to just highlight everything and attach. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make sure I group everything together. Or not group, I'm sorry, just have everything together, because I want to grab them all at the same time, because I'm going to make them larger at the same time. So what I'm going to do, and actually I'm going to line them up so they're the same width. So see what I'm doing? I'm making them all line up to the left-hand side. And uh-oh, somebody lost a score line. What did I do there? Ah, see, it came from this guy over here. Let me put this score line over here where it belongs. So I can just move it right over here into place. And it is a score line. I must not, oops. Where did it go? Must be behind this. Let me send this to the back. There it is. So I must not have grabbed it before when I attached. So let me attach that now. All right. So once again, I'm going to put all of these on top of each other, lining them up to the left-hand side. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to grab them all together, and I'm just going to start making them larger so that their width, and I could actually just come right here, is 10.5. Whoa, I put 100.5, 10 backspace. Let me fix that, 10.5, enter. All right, now everything is 10.5 inches as soon as it finishes adjusting. And then all I need to do now is go to make it. And let's see what's on this gray. Okay, there's that, which I need to duplicate. I'll have to go back and duplicate that. But here's this piece with its score lines in place. And here's this piece with its score lines in place. So all I'd have to do is go back to cancel. And I'm going to make a duplicate now of this one. So I highlight it and duplicate it. And then when I go to make it, I'll have 2 of them. So that's it. It's as easy as that. I tried taking it into Inkscape first like you were doing, Nancy, but that didn't seem to help me much. So my things still came into Design Space, not sized correctly. So anyway, I hope this helps you. At least it's another thought. Let's keep playing with it.